Hi everyone. Throughout this video, you may hear some special announcements from Jim, the loudest cat in the world. He always knows when I'm filming and needs to make his presence known, so if this bothers you, maybe just watch the video on mute with some captions. Otherwise, please enjoy the video. So this sketchbook, I'm going to call it that I started it in February 2020 and ended it in May 2020. I actually started it in December of 2019, and I had originally thought that this was going to be a sketchbook only for studies, and then I used up the last of my other sketchbook and just started using this one, so it's been my kind of daily draw sketchbook for those months. So this is the first page that I did. So these studies I did back in December, and then this one I did in May, kind of like finishing up the sketchbook by drawing something on the first page, but when the whole thing was done, so something a little bit different. I don't really like the way it turned out, but you know what, it's the first page, those are always hard. These are a couple more studies that I did in December at the Chazen Art Museum. And then these are a couple of lighting studies from James Gurney's book, Color and Light. And I believe there's more lighting studies here. So that's always just fun to practice and learn more about. This was a drawing I did at Discount Tire while I was waiting for them to fix my flat tire. I was there for kind of a while, so I was like, you know what, I better start just drawing. These are some drawings I did at the zoo, so a couple of sketches from life of a giraffe. Those are pretty fun. And then this was a gouache study of the lions outside, and since I did these in February, there's still snow, and their rocks are heated, so there was only snow kind of gathering up on the sides and around them. More drawings from the zoo, some kind of notes about this iguana. It was pretty cool. And then this emerald tree boa held the pose really nicely, and then as soon as I started coloring it in, decided to move. So that's kind of typical life drawing shenanigans. These drawings I did at the airport while I was waiting for my flight to New Orleans. So kind of just some life drawing and looking out the window, kind of what I saw. And then these guys, this was like really funny. So these three old men sat down, and all three of them like looked the same but different, and I couldn't really describe it, but they all had the same glasses, same hairstyle, same vibe, and they all picked up a newspaper and were reading it, and it just looked like they just looked like cartoon characters. It was so funny. And then as soon as like I kind of started drawing them and getting their features, they would hold the newspaper up over their face. So I did this little illustration of those three old guys. You can hear Jim in the background, as per usual. So this is a drawing I did from life at one of the parks in New Orleans. It was really beautiful. And then this was at the botanical gardens there, which I absolutely loved. It was a great time. New Orleans is beautiful, and it was great to be able to travel a little bit this year, pretty much before the lockdown started. So I treasure these drawings as kind of a reminder of my trip. These ones I did when I got back home and used my like photo references, so had some really beautiful orchids. This page kind of turned out a little bit muddy, but they had some cats in some of the gardens, and it was just the most magical thing. And they had this beautiful, like, I don't know, like greenhouse atrium kind of thing. I don't know what it's called. And then some like tiger studies. I wanted to try some different stylization. And then this is kind of when like things started going bad. So I drew these sheep. So this is March now, so mid-March, and things are starting to get bad with the pandemic. The sketch is, it's so funny to me because I like suffer really bad from seasonal affective disorder, and winters are really hard for me, and I look forward to the spring and the weather being nicer and the sun coming out. And so I was really just like, yes, like it's time, like spring is here, things are gonna get better, it's gonna be great. Looking back now, I'm like, wow, that's cute. And then over here are some studies from the Tokyo Fashion Instagram page. I love doing fashion illustration. I'd really like to do more of it. It's just really fun and relaxing. I love the pattern on this. I love both of these outfits. Like, it's just awesome. Okay, so I put little, like, post-it markers for kind of, like, what the timeline was, like, what was going on here. So here's just, like, a study of a Victorian-style house. These I drew on my birthday. My birthday I pretty much just spent inside. I didn't really do anything special, and it's not a big deal to me. I was like, you know what, it's fine, like I'll just celebrate my birthday in the summer, or I'll just do like a half birthday or something, like go out to eat with my family, or just do something fun. And you know what, it's probably still not gonna happen. Maybe it'll just be next year. So I drew this little guy, and I do really like this illustration, and I've kind of reposted it again, and I keep bringing it back because I think it's just important to try to be optimistic and positive about everything. This is Rose's study kind of spread, and I love the way this page turned out. I just really like it. It's fun and interesting, and I used this as kind of a study for a larger painting that I did. This was pretty fun. I went on Instagram and asked people what I should draw, and then I kind of just progressively added to it. So somebody was like old statues, and someone was like succulents, and then someone else said a snake or bugs or snails or a moth, and I just kind of kept adding to the illustration, and I really like how it turned out. I think it's really cool. Over here, just a quick drawing of a borzoi because they're my favorite, and whenever I don't know what to draw, I'm like, I should just draw a borzoi. Here is a spread. I actually have a video of this spread on my channel if you want to see kind of like a time lapse of me doing it. And then, so this I drew on the 26th, and the 28th was the last day I worked at my previous job. Here is a whole spread of studies of the artist Maxfield Parrish, and I found his work, and it's one of those things where you're like, I'm sure I've probably seen some of his work before, but you've never really looked into it that much. And I just kind of went on a deep dive learning about him and his work, and was just really inspired by these like vibrant colors and the kind of surreal fantasy look to his work, and did a couple of studies of that. Here are some more studies. These are just pictures I found on Pinterest. I wanted to do something like, I guess kind of Monet inspired, and so no black lines or anything in this piece, and kind of my own style down here, but this was marker and colored pencil, and I really like it. I want to practice more landscapes. And then over here is a drawing of one of the girls from the K-pop group Twice. They're like my depression music, so when it's like getting really bad, I'm like, you know what? It's time to listen to some Twice. It's time for some just like bright, bubbly girl group music, and gotta get me amped up again. Sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. This is beginning of April, and I've been pretty much at home trying to work on things, and this is just kind of some studies I did of what I could see at my desk. So this background is painted just with probably like gouache or some other paint. I probably messed something up on this page and just wanted to cover it all, so whenever you see like a full background like this, I probably messed something up. I really love these pages. I haven't used too much red in this book, so I wanted something bright and obnoxious. So this is a raccoon skull, and then some mums and Venus flytraps, and I just wanted to be really bold and crazy and make your eyes hurt. This is a like all the background was done in acrylic gouache, so it's like acrylic plus gouache, and then there's some like graphite on this too, some colored pencil. I really love this drawing. I used a reference photo of one of my K-pop girls for the pose, and then just like totally changed it up and gave her a bunch of tattoos and green hair, and I don't know, I was just in the mood to draw girls. Here is a study of, I just took that photo when I was out on a walk or a run or something. It's of this local kind of small lake near me, and I really liked the color of the water. It was really green over here and then really blue over here, so I wanted to do kind of just a stylized drawing of a landscape, and I really like it. And it's kind of showing like things haven't quite sprouted yet. It was still pretty gray and not a lot of plant life growing yet. Here is just a drawing of mum flower, and this is April 10th. Another study of a photo I took while out for a walk. And then here I kind of repurposed that Bernie meme, like I have once again, or I am once again, blah blah blah. And I have once again failed to launch a full-time art career. This whole quarantine, lockdown, springtime had been really hard for me to A, make money, and B, make art my job. And yeah, just not really working out. These are some drawings of my K-pop boy, Beckon, and I had created a separate sketchbook for K-pop stuff, and then I kind of forgot and just drew this in here, and you know what? I don't even really mind it. I think it's a really good page. So this is an acrylic paint background, super neon. I love these paints, and every time I go for a walk or go outside and I see these ducks, I'm just like, wow, I wish that were me. What a good life it is to just be a duck. Another landscape study. I have a lot of landscapes in this. It's something I want to work on more, and I feel like I got a good amount of them in this book. Here's my quarantine bingo. For the most part, it's still pretty much the same. A couple of things have changed, but about the same. Another page that I definitely messed up and just painted over. I think I also just had leftover paint from something and didn't want to waste it. And then another fashion study. Here's a page that were just some studies for a painting that I did, and I wanted to plan out the composition. These are actually just some of the palette that I used for the actual painting in my paper towel. I just thought it would look cool taped into the book because there was some empty space up here. And then just kind of like a drawing mock-up of how I wanted the styling, like the stylization to be. A K-pop drawing over here because I needed to fill up the page. And again, I was like, you know what? I don't really care. I'll put whatever I want in here. Alright, so we are at the end of April now, and I've been kind of slowly working in this. So kind of just a variety of drawings, kind of mix and match. Some studies from Pinterest, mostly. Just playing in this color palette. So these are all drawings I did from life. So the crystals are actual crystals that I have. So this is that one. And then the plants were all things that I found outside, and I just taped them in here. And then this is an abandoned ice cream shop in the town I live in. And I don't know, I just really liked it. I like the plants growing in the cracks of the pavement and kind of the wear and tear on the side of the building, and you know, things were still growing. There's some trees, but there's not a lot of like green trees yet, so it just had this like spooky kind of melancholy vibe to it that I really liked, and that's something I like to try capturing in my work. So here's kind of, this is almost more of like a art journal kind of page. So it's May 4th, kind of what I was doing, a drawing of my bike and just some flowers to fill in the page. Jim is being annoying. He's also being annoying today, as you've probably heard. These are all drawings based on Charlie Bliss lyrics. They're one of my favorite bands right now, and I listen to their music a lot just because it's fun, and I don't know, I love her voice. I just love them. And then this is the end of the book. Every day is the same, but at least it's a good day. And for the most part, that's still kind of true. Things have been mixed up a little bit now, so I ended this May 5th. Kind of just like a reflection at the end about where I want to go with my art career. And in here, I'm like, you know what, I should probably get a real job and just do art on the side. And I still don't really know what I want to do. I've been trying to make it work. I had found a job I wanted to apply to, and by the time I went to apply, it was already taken, and I kind of took that as a sign that I need to keep trying, I need to keep going, and luckily I have a partner that can support me, and I don't really have to worry too much about money right now, but I don't want it to be that way forever. I want to be self-sufficient and be making money with my art and not just losing money by doing an art career. So I'm really working hard, and I want it to work out. And some days it feels like it can happen, and some days it really doesn't. It feels pretty grim. I'm gonna keep trying because I'm resilient and I am stubborn. So I would rather struggle and try to make things work than have to apply for a million jobs that might not work out or might not fit me or might not pay me enough. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Hey! Hey! Knock it off, Jim!